is one little church and they'll let it go. I want to go to a Victorian federal MP now. Dr Anne Webster is the federal member for Mallee. She joins us from Parliament House, Canberra. Thanks for joining us. Firstly, just on that, Anne, what are your thoughts with that pastor? He's been fined. He's flagrantly in breach of the public health rules in Victoria. Should he be prosecuted, or should his religious freedom be respected?
Well, I think we have, as you rightly pointed out, the rule of law that we are all required to live under. And regardless of our faith, there is a requirement that we do that. And I'm a Christian, so I certainly understand what's in the Bible. And Jesus certainly said you need to give to Caesar what's Caesar's and give to God what is God's. I think that it's really important for us as communities to be not of one mind, particularly given our Victorian leadership, but certainly respect the law of the land. Otherwise, we have anarchy, and I don't think that's appropriate.
Yeah, I agree. I think we can understand the point he's trying to make, but in the end, you've got to live by the rule of law. Speaking of the rule of law, I want to get your thoughts on the horrible case of Brittany Higgins, a former Liberal Party staffer who says she was raped in Parliament House, mind you, late one night almost 2 years ago by a fellow former Liberal staffer. They were both Liberal staffers then. What are your thoughts about the way this case has arisen? She went to police at the time but did not pursue any criminal action. She was kept on her employment. The alleged perpetrator lost his job. Has the government handled this adequately, or was she poorly treated?
Well, I obviously was not in Parliament at that time, so I don't know exactly what happened. I believe that the Prime Minister certainly knew nothing about it till yesterday. And, you know, I take his point that people have to have their autonomy respected. If Brittany did not want to make a statement, and I understand that, then, you know, should there be overriding laws? Should they be mandatory that a person who is over the age of 18 should have their story told? I think it's a big question. At the moment, what we're concerned about here in Parliament House is ensuring that our staff feel safe themselves. So I've been talking with my staff today about if untoward behaviour occurs, if situations arise where they don't feel safe, I want them to talk to me because we need to follow it up.
Yeah, spot on. Let's hear from the Defence Minister, Linda Reynolds, today. She was the boss, she was the employer of Brittany Higgins. This alleged rape happened in her office suite, and here's Linda Reynolds in the Senate today.
Reflecting on the circumstances and reflecting on what I would say here in the chamber today, saying sorry is often the hardest thing for those of us who work in this place to say. But can I say today, sorry is the easiest word for me to say. And I unreservedly apologise to Brittany Higgins. Listening to Brittany describe the depression and the trauma she experienced in that subsequent time, it is very, very clear to me that more could and should have been done to support her. The kind of support Brittany needs has to start in a political office. It starts with her boss, in this case with me.
Now, an apology also came from the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, today, Anne Webster. My issue here, of course, Brittany Higgins, everybody has sympathy with her. She's been through a horrible ordeal. She deserves the support she has got and she's been promised now. But a story like this, accusations like this coming out via the media through detailed sit-down interviews rather than through a detailed complaint going to the police first. That suggests politics is involved, doesn't it?
Well, I hope not. That's all I can say. I hope not, because Brittany needs help and she needs the support of the government now, the people whom she's had around her, but she also needs to go through the processes to see justice is done.
But shouldn't anyone who was advising her, counselling her, suggest that the first place to go to would be maybe her former employer or to the police to pursue this? Instead, it's been all revealed through a national television interview.
Yeah, it's certainly not how I would want to do things myself. You know, this is a hugely traumatic event that has occurred for her. And the fact that it's taken 2 years to come out, I think, shows how traumatic it has been. So I'm just really hoping that she can follow through now and get the support that she needs, and also that justice is done.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. She's got to do what she believes is best, but all of us would say if there's been a criminal offence here, we'd want to see justice play out here, and as soon as possible. I've been distracted by these other issues. I want to get back onto something that affects you directly, the lockdown in Victoria, in the Victorian Mallee. Places like Mildura and Swan Hill, it's absurd, isn't it, and unfair, and how are you going to stop Daniel Andrews overreacting like this?
Well, I would really like to see Daniel Andrews take his own medicine, apply his own methods to control the rest of Australia. He set up a traffic light zoning system for hotspots in other states, and yet he hasn't applied it to Victoria. It doesn't make any sense. It is insulting for the regional communities that I represent to be ignored in such a way, and it's beyond frustrating. I have so many people contacting me, and it's, it is lives and livelihoods. We've had, I know you interviewed the Mayor of Swan Hill about the tennis tournament and the losses there. We had the Merbeen annual cup. 100 people should have been coming to the area, cancelled because you can't walk in fresh air if there's a risk of COVID 550 kilometres away. There is no sense to this.
So how do you improve things? Because Daniel Andrews has had a year of experience and seeing what other states are doing, yet he's still overreacting in this fashion. He's telling us that the virus is getting smarter.
I actually don't know what that means. And it would seem to me that the advice and the implementation of the advice as it concerns regional communities is not getting smarter. I don't think that that would be a true statement.
Thanks for joining us, Anne. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.